Okay, so yeah, hello and welcome to another lecture in this course where we'll quickly show you and explain you what our data types in Java exactly are. Okay, so yeah, let's start. So from the last lecture, I removed everything. So I removed the main method and I removed this little system.out.println expression. Because right now I just wanted to explain you what exactly data types are and show you some common types. So in the last lecture, I already talked about the data type string. So doesn't care about the errors right now because this format what I'm currently doing is not a Java format, but I just want to explain you a string right now. So just don't view on this errors we get right now. Let's quickly write everything out with which are the most popular. Then we got the integer. Oh, right here. Let's write. Then we got an integer. Then we got a boolean. So let's cover those three right now. So we got a string, an integer, and the boolean. What is the difference between all this? So we got a string. A string always represents a word. So represents, we can just write, represents a word or a sentences. Or sentence. So what does this mean? So as you already explained in the last lecture, a string is like a word or represents sentences. So these are characters what it can save. And it always, so we can write it out, always between double quotes. So in this case, those right here. So in there is our string. We can write it out with this little thing. Here's our string. Then we got an integer. What does this mean? So the integer represents a number. Yeah, a number, just a normal number. So in this case we write represents represents a normal number in Java. What does this mean? So in this case we can, for example, use for a integer we can use 100, or we can just quickly write example. We can use 100, we can use 1000, we can use 33, we can use something like this. So there's no limitations on which integer we can use right here. So this represents a number. We can either display it as a string with double quotes and then insert the number right here, but then Java represents the number as a string that you have to be known. But if we set between the number those double quotes, Java will set it as an integer. Then we got the boolean. What is a boolean? So the boolean represents, in this case, represents true or false. What does this mean? Let me quickly show an example. So for example, we got a story. So for example, before we start with the story, you already know the basic English words true or false. So true means that it's correct, true, or yeah, something like this. And false means it's wrong, it's false. So you already know these words from English. So let me quickly explain you something. So for example, we got a story about a bird that can fly. So the bird can fly and carry bananas. Something like this. Some birds can, some birds not. Let's say the bird is a clown and he can fly. So let's say a clown can fly and hold a banana. You can see that this is false because the story is false. And this is the same as in Java. So either we can represent the boolean as true. So we can say this and this value is true. Or we can say this and this value is false. And those two keywords, which are they called, true or false, are also very important in Java. For example, if we check for something, Java can return true or false for correct or wrong. So just to override it. And also, for example, three very basic data types in Java. And as you can see right now, we have also much more. For example, we got long. Long also represents a number, but a whole number. So in this case, it's like an integer. It can represent a whole number. So it cannot represent 0.5 or 4.5 or 4.4 or 4.44. It cannot represent this. It can only represent a whole number. This is what a long value does. So then we got a short value. As you can see right here in this little example right here. So what is a short value? So a short value always allows us to use a number in this case. Also a number. But we will come in deeper into this. I just wanted to show you some examples right now. And then what we now got is a float. What is this? This allows us to use numbers like this: 0.5, 4.04, I don't know, 7.8, and something like this. So this is a decimal number. So it allows us to use decimal numbers right here. So this basically allows us to use either decimal numbers and comma numbers. So basically numbers which represents in a half or something like this. Then we also got a, like explained, a double, which also represents 0.5, 5.6, and so on. So those are pretty much the same. Just long and short. You have to be known that it can be a whole number. We can also write it as this right here. And then we got the integer. So the most powerful and common are string, integer, boolean. So those are the most three common things in Java. So the most common three data types in Java, as you can see. So string always represents a word which is inside double quotes. Then we got an integer, which represents a normal number in Java, example 100, 1000, 33, and this weird number right here. So Then we got a boolean, which represents a value true or false, only true or false. Then we got a long, short, float, double, and much more. So there are more values like int, char for character, and more. So a character is also like a string, but it's not with double quotes. It is with single quotes. And here you insert your string or your character. So in this I will just write character. This is a little bit error right here. So as you can see, and an int, as you can see right here, always represents also an integer. So an integer and an int is basically the same. So I can also write 100 in here, 1033, and this weird number. This is how all those. So there are much more with primitive and much more, which is like primitive and other keywords which we need to be known. But in this case, this is the only thing that matters right now. So please be known that you already need to learn string, an integer, and a boolean. This is the most three common you should be able to use right now in this course what we will cover right now. And then later on, we will also cover long, short, float, double, int, char. But right now, only focus on string, integer, and boolean. I just showed you this because Java also has much more, which we will also cover when we go throughout this course. Okay, so hopefully this little lecture helped you a little bit more for understanding how to exactly use data types, what are data types. I've showed you some common data types, and I will see you in the next lecture where we'll continue working on how to exactly learn programming with Java. So see you in the next lecture. Bye.